Good morning. My name is Karen Apostolina. I am a certified yoga therapist and yoga teacher here in Los Angeles. And this class today is for those days when you just may not feel like practicing. I am recording this in the week in between Christmas and New Year's. And yeah, feeling a little bit quiet. So I wanted to do a practice where we just come to the mat and move and breathe together without any real intention toward what this is going to be. Just a simple practice to make us feel more connected. Go ahead and close your eyes if that's comfortable to you. I'm going to turn my palms up and gently touch my index and thumb in the Wisdom Mudra. To start to notice your breath. The inhale coming all the way up from the tailbone to the crown of the head. And the exhale pouring down from the head into the heart center. Pranavayu. Inhale coming up from the tailbone to the crown of the head. And exhale is pouring down from the brain into the intelligence of the heart. 2 more at your own pace. And from here, on your next exhale, just gently let your chin drop towards your chest. And then on your inhale, go ahead and lift your chin up toward the ceiling, maybe open your eyes. Repeat that again, just this gentle movement forward and back. Starting to warm up our cervical spine. Bring your head back to the center, and we're just going to rotate the chin toward the right, trying to keep the chin parallel with the floor and rotate it toward the left. Notice if there's any movement in your shoulders. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed as you repeat this rotation right and left. Yeah, and then just bring it back to the center and let's tilt that head to the right. Bringing your left fingertips up, just gently massage the scalene muscles that run along the side of the neck here. Take a nice full inhale and exhale, maybe even sighing it out the mouth, releasing the jaw if there's any tension in the jaw. Bring your head back to the center, let it gently tilt to the left. Some days this is enough, right? You're already feeling a lot of stretch. You can just stay right here and enjoy that. Or you can take your fingers up and just a little bit of gentle massage here, going into the back of the neck, anywhere that feels tense or tight to you. Just bringing a little more circulation to that area. And then coming back, we're just going to gently inhale and bring our fingertips behind. If you're sitting on a bolster, you could touch the bolster or the floor. Open the sternum, open the chest, or lift the sternum, I should say, open the chest. As you exhale, bring your hands to your knees and just go ahead and round your back. So we're just linking the breath and the movement now. Inhale to open and exhale to round. Good. And then come back to the center and go ahead and lift your fingertips up onto your shoulders. And instead of doing anything with the shoulders in terms of elevation, let the fingers press them down and reach the elbows out horizontally so you feel a widening in the shoulder girdle here. Take another full inhale, exhale here. Keep widening through the shoulders. Keep widening through the elbows. So anytime in your practice that you feel your shoulders are tight, I want you to think about widening. And then we're going to start these little circular movements. That's right. I said we were going slow, and I was not kidding. But as sometimes you just need to get on the mat, you start sitting, you start breathing, You start to move, and then you realize I'm doing it. I'm doing my practice. Circle the other way. This starts to warm up the area between the shoulder blades. So let that go, releasing any patterns of holding or tension there. And then just relaxing and bringing the arms back down alongside your body. We're going to take a sneaky finger walk over to the right and just place our right hand on the floor. The left hand's going to go onto the thigh here. And first, I'm just going to lean into my right hand. If I want to go deeper, I can bend this right elbow and maybe reach my left arm up toward the sky. And then I'm going to take my arm alongside my ear. As I do this, I sort of move this shoulder toward my head. And I'm just going to hang out here for a couple of breaths. And I'm trying to keep my left hip nice and heavy to increase the stretch alongside the left side of my body. Good. And then use the action of this arm coming back up to come to center. And we'll slide the left fingertips out toward the back of the mat now. If you have any shoulder injuries or you've had any recent surgeries in your upper body, or actually anywhere, it may just feel more comfortable to stay here. And you can always bend the bottom elbow to go a little deeper. If this elbow's bending, do make sure it's bending in toward your rib cage, not out to the back, and the shoulder's not collapsing, but you're rolling it back and down. And then if you want to add the arm variations, feel free. You can go back and forth. You can just play here. If your neck is stiff, go ahead and turn your head toward the floor, but do keep the right hip nice and heavy. Inhale and exhale here. Beautiful. And then use that arm to bring you all the way back up. And we're just going to go ahead and stretch the legs out for a minute, give them a little pat all the way up and down. If you're more comfortable sitting in hero's pose, sitting back on your heels during this first part of class, I'm going to massage my knees here. I invite you to join me, of course, massaging, self-massage, right? I mean, it's great if somebody else wants to massage you, but I'm not going to wait around. I'm going to get it done. Some people like to sit in hero's pose. It's a little more comfortable, especially if you have stiff hips. But those of you who are sitting in Sukhasana, easy cross-legged pose, you're going to switch now to the other direction. Bring your arms alongside the body. This time, turn the palms forward. So you're going to really roll those shoulders back and down. As you inhale, sweep your arms up toward the sky. Then we're going to interlace the fingers, turn the palms upward, and lift the rib cage away from the hip points. Get really nice and tall here in this axial extension. As you exhale, you're going to twist to the right. So we're going to release the hands. The left fingertips will come to the right knee. If that's attainable, you'll reach the knee and just pull a little bit to feel the upper body twist. The back fingertips are just resting on your bolster or on the floor behind you. And then we're going to inhale and come up to a wide V position here. And take it to the other side. Gentle twist. Twisting so important for our organs of digestion, right? Relax the shoulders back and down, lift the sternum up, and then bring yourself back to the center. Let's take a cat-cow. Please round your back, let your chin drop down, and just pull that belly, scoop the belly in. And then as you exhale, you're going to slide your hands on your thighs and just squeeze the shoulders together. And repeat that again. Exhale, rounding. And then inhale, squeezing the shoulders together, feeling that opening in the chest, armpit chest. And then just come back to your seated mountain. We're going to repeat that sequence. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, bring your hands in front of your heart. And then inhale, we're going to interlace the fingers again and reach up toward the sky. Get nice and tall here. Beautiful. And as you exhale, this time let's twist to the left. So we can think about lifting the sternum each time we inhale and keeping that chin parallel to the floor. Gentle twisting motion. Come back to the center. Get those arms above your head. Elbows can stay bent. That's totally fine. Make it work for your body, all right? I try to give tons of modifications, but having said that, if something doesn't feel right, that's your body intelligence telling you just to relax. Seated cat-cow, we're gonna round into our cat first, pull the belly in. Let that chin just hang. And then as you inhale, slide your hands up your thighs and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Maybe you look up if your neck feels okay in that position. One more time, rounding. It's so nice for the body to move a little bit slower in the beginning of class and come back to the center. Good. Excellent. Now from here, go ahead and come down. If you were on any sort of a prop, you're going to just sit on your mat, and we're going to start off with our soles of our feet together in Baddha Konasana. Just sort of rock side to side here for a minute so you're comfortable. Some of my friends who've had hip replacements or stiff hips, you may want to use the blocks to support your thighs. Go ahead and lift your arms up overhead again. Take a nice big inhale. We're going to stretch forward from the waist, but we're not going to go with the arms down. The arms are going to stay alongside the ears. So you may only be going an inch or two, or maybe your practice today is just to try to sit up nice and tall, but you can see how my back is in extension here. I'm just going until I feel an awakening in my hip joints there, feeling a stretch. My upper back is getting nice and strong here, very engaged. We're going to hold for one more breath. Inhale and exhale. And then we're going to let the fingertips float down to the floor. And here you can just let the chin drop down. So just using the weight of the head to kind of curl into this beautiful clamshell. And this is our bound angle pose. If it feels too intense, feel free to move your feet a little bit further away from you. Now you're going to walk up onto your fingertips as if you were playing the piano. We're going to walk our hands over to the right. And then relaxing the fingertips down, you may feel more of a stretch on the left side of your body here. Take your left hand and see if you can place it on top of your right. Feel very heavy in the legs. Let the bones be heavy here. And then we're going to repeat this to the left. So we'll come back to our piano key hands, walking over to the other side. Just till you feel that stretch. You're going to know when to stop. Your body's going to tell you. You're going to relax your hands. Take a breath or two there. Inhale and exhale. And then if you like, you can bring the right hand and place it on top of the left. And this really gets into those QL muscles that run along the spine there. Try not to hunch up the shoulders. Keep that nice and relaxed. And then walking yourself back to the front, you're going to inhale to lift yourself up. From here, we're going to go, before we go into our straddle, we're going to grab our strap. So hopefully you have some sort of strap available for your practice, and we're going to move into a wide angle. If you're having trouble sitting in this position, you can also, of course, sit up on a little blanket. There you go. And we're not going to the absolute widest position we can go to, anywhere that feels okay for you, that feels sustainable. Feel free to use the props under your knees if your knees feel quite bent. Going to just take this for a moment, pressing the hamstrings down. We're trying to get a little bit of an internal rotation so the feet aren't just flopping back, but the toes are facing toward the sky. The hamstrings are pressing down. Yes, waking up those hamstrings. And then just start to move side to side here. So again, I like to use the fingers as just a little bit of lymph brushing up toward the center of the body here. That's it. Use your breath. So even if this is all you did today, doesn't it feel great just to move side to side? I don't know what it is about our culture, but everything seems to be moving forward, right? So we need to balance our body by moving sideways, by twisting, by moving backwards, carefully backwards sometimes. Good. And then you're going to come back to center. You're going to grab that strap. This could, also be done without the strap if your hamstrings are very loose. But I'm going to choke up on the strap. You can see I've gone in with my hand underneath. I'm going to once again bend this bottom elbow and bring my hand to my other leg. So I'm getting a stretch again, and I'm concentrating on rotating my rib cage toward the sky. Add any arms. This should feel familiar. We did this earlier in our seated Sukhasana. Ooh, nice big inhale and exhale here. That's it. Keep pressing the hamstrings down. And we're also engaging these quadricep muscles. The more we contract those quads, the more the hamstrings will release. Inhale and exhale here, couple of breaths. Good. Now you're going to bring yourself back up using your strong core. We're going to take the left hand over to the strap and switch. So now the left hand holds the strap. The right hand is going to reach back toward the back wall, or you can just drop it fingers down to the floor like we did in our earlier twist. So this is a much more active twist, but the mechanics are the same. We're twisting the rib cage, the heart, and the lungs, while the bottom half from the waist down is stable and secure. Take a couple inhales, see if you can pull those toes back. Inhale and exhale. The exhale is so important in yoga. That's the release, right? The inhale is the inspiration, and the exhale is the release of any tension, any stress. Good. Go ahead and come back to the center. You can take your strap off, and we're just going to do this again, this side to side. So it may feel looser this time, or maybe not. Good. And then we're going to come on up, and we're going to take the strap around the left foot. So strapping up the foot and just taking it, choking down. So you're pretty close to your ankle there. You're going to bend the bottom elbow, and we're bending it in front. Why? Well, when we do that, we're rolling the shoulder back and down. So we're setting ourselves up for success there. You can take your right hand to the thigh to press down a little bit, actively engaging those legs, and then any arm variations. I like to make sure I'm reaching out right from my shoulder. So look up and check that out. Seeing is believing, right? This arm may feel good. This may feel good. I got you, my people with a lot of mobility, but over time, that might not be very friendly for that joint, right? So reach through the fingertips straight out from the shoulder girdle. Mm-hmm. And again, you can look at the floor if that feels better to you. Just gently opening and breathing, and then holding for a few breaths here. Remember that bottom shoulder doesn't want to tense up. We're relaxing that as well. Inhale and exhale. This is a big pose, big starfish position. Inhale, bring yourself back up. All right, turn it toward the left leg. Switch the straps into the right hand. The left hand is going to reach back, and those fingertips will come to the floor. And see if you can scoop up from the pubic bone to the navel. So there's a lifting here to support your lower back in this pose. Oh, you see my other leg starting to relax there. It's getting lazy. Keep me honest, that leg needs to be actively engaged. Good. We've been here for a long time. We can take one more breath. Beautiful work, everyone. And then go ahead and release the straps. You can gather up your legs by just going under the cables of the legs and bringing them out. Give them a little bit of a pat here. Little bit of a wiggle, whatever feels good. We're going to come over onto our hip. We're going to come up into a tabletop pose now. So if you have a carpet underneath you like I do, that should provide plenty of padding. If you don't, feel free to take a blanket under your knees. Some people like that. And I always have yoga blocks available. If you have some too, they can be a great alignment tool. You could also use paper towel rolls or books, or some people don't need them. You're going to decide what you need, and we're going to spread the fingers wide. You can see my shoulders are right over my wrists. and I'm looking down at my hands, fingers are spread. I'm going to tuck my toes today, and I'm going to take a couple of cat-cows. So as I inhale, I'm just going to slide my chest forward, lift my tailbone toward the sky. I don't overlift the head. Exhale. Why? Because we compress those delicate vertebrae so much when we're sitting on our phones and our computer that I caution overlifting the head, because that's just more compression, right? So look forward toward the front of the mat, but just think about extending through the crown of the head as you come forward. Really getting into the spine, though, the lower spine, mid spine, upper spine. And then come back to your tabletop pose. Walk those hands slightly forward of your shoulder. We're going to move back, sending the hips back, almost like we're going into puppy dog or child's pose, but just stretching the arms, stretching the back. Then we're going to move forward, and we're going to let the hips drop down, not coming all the way to the floor, but just engaging our core and moving and flowing back and forth a few times. And this is a really nice one to do on a lazy day, because you are working your core, similar muscles to Cobra or Bhujangasana, but we have the support of the knees on the ground. So it might feel a little more delicious. One more time, take it forward and back. And this time you're going to pause here. You're going to untuck those toes and just let your hips sink down a little bit. You may find that this doesn't feel good. If it doesn't, just send the hips back again. But see, the rest of you, see if you can hold this for a couple of breaths, just letting the hips be heavy toward the floor. My arms are straight, but you can now start to bend your elbows, and we're going to come all the way down. So you can see that my forearms are very close to my rib cage here. All right, my elbows are pointing toward the sky. At this point, I'm going to bring my legs a little closer together, and I want to lengthen the legs as much as I can, rolling toward the pinky toe side of the foot. We're going to do a few cobras here. So spread your fingers. They should be right alongside your chest. As I inhale, I'm going to lengthen my legs, press my pubic bone down, and lift up. And as I exhale, I'm going to slowly lower. Try again with me, please. Inhale, lengthen everything. Peel yourself up off the floor. And exhale, rolling on down. And one more time. Inhale to lift. And then just pause here for one cycle of breath. Keep pulling the elbows in if you can. And then exhale. When you're ready, you're going to come on down. Good. And then you're going to open the legs out a little bit and just go ahead and bend both knees. And you have a choice. You can either bring your hands to your hips, or if you have the ability to reach back and grab your ankles, you're going to do that. As you inhale, you're going to roll your shoulders back and down. And once again, lift your chest off the floor. Maybe the knees will come up as well. Take a couple of breaths here. Try to relax the muscles of your face. Roll the shoulders back and down. And then go ahead and release. Bring your hands to the floor. Bend your knees. Come all the way up. Widen the knees. Settle the hips back. We're moving into a child's. Some like to keep just the forearms on the floor. Some are going to bring the forehead to the floor and let the arms stretch out. While you're here, feel your tailbone rounding back and down. Let the breath move up the back body, filling and emptying the back lobes of the lungs. Release any tension in the hips and inner groin muscles. Good. And then when you're ready, come on up to tabletop pose. We're going to do just a little bit of core work. Reach that right leg behind you. Good. Reach your left arm in front of you. See if you can establish a balance point here. And now we're going to do a little bit more core work by bending the left elbow and pulling it toward the right knee. And then as you inhale, you're going to stretch it back out again. And bend. So we're bending in opposition, left elbow, right knee. Good. Let's try again. And reach it out. Beautiful work. Go ahead and bring the hand and the knee back down, and we'll switch to the other side. Make sure that leg is internally rotated. So the thigh is facing your mat, right arm reaches. Inhale here, exhale, pull right elbow to left knee. Inhale, stretch it out. And exhale, pull it in. And let's do one more. That's it. And pulling it in. Beautiful. And I think I forgot. Yep, stretch it out. Bring your hand back down, knee back down. Go ahead and tuck your toes, friends. You can widen your knees out, and let's come into a little down dog. So keep this first one wide. Widen the hands, widen the feet, pedal back and forth if you like, but you are having a feeling of ripping the sticky mat forward and ripping with your hands and ripping the sticky mat back with your heels. Maybe turn the head side to side. Breathe, and then you're going to walk your feet to your hands and your hands to your feet. We're coming into a forward fold. Now, if you're a person who has any disc damage in your back or unmedicated high blood pressure, you're going to want to keep your hands on your shins or your blocks and just come to an extension instead. Otherwise, you can fold over the hips with any arm variations. Grasping elbows, grasping legs, hands on the floor. Now we feel the breath once again coming all the way up the back body, and then exhale down the front. It's going to feel different. Notice how each pose changes your breath. You can sway side to side. You're going to bend your knees when you're ready. Bring your hands to your thighs to support, coming all the way up here. There you go. And then just walk yourself forward to the front of your mat. And come to mountain pose. Let your eyes seek out the level of the horizon here. As you inhale, sweep your arms all the way up, bring your palms together. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Good. Inhale, reach up toward the sky, lift up, and as you exhale, you can swan dive down into that forward fold, stopping here on the blocks or coming all the way down, your choice. Keep a little bend in the knees if you need it. Hands are going to be on the blocks or on the floor, and we're going to step the right foot back into a lunge position. All right, so back leg is nice and straight. Front leg is at a 90-degree angle. Then we're going to bend the back knee, the right knee, untuck the right foot. Go ahead and walk your hands up onto that front thigh. Find your nice Anjaneyasana lunge here. And then if you can sustain the balance, then add the arms. But you could also just leave the hands on the front of the thigh. That's a beautiful variation. Maybe look up with the eyes. Feel that upper body back bend. Good. One more breath here. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and bring the hands in front of the heart. And we're going to twist toward that front leg. See if you can bring your elbow down onto the left thigh or just outside of the left thigh, getting into another twist here. The more we press the front foot down, the easier the balance becomes. Let those hips move forward if you want a little bit more stretch. Good. And then taking the hands back to the floor or back to the blocks, you're going to tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and then walk it forward or spring it forward back into that forward fold. Nice full inhale and exhale here. And then bending your knees, come all the way up. And just take a moment to Establish your pose. Feel the shoulders roll back and down. Find the horizon with your eyes. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, bring your hands in front of your heart. Good. Inhale, reach up, lift up, look up, and then swan dive down. Remember, disc issues, we stop here. Otherwise, we're coming all the way forward, bringing the hands to any variation or just touching the floor. You want to make sure that you're rounding over the hip bone. And then from here, we're going to bend the knees and we're just going to stretch the left leg out behind us, coming into a lunge. All right. High on the back ball of the foot, extend the spine, and then bend that back knee and untuck the back foot. Walk your hands up onto this front thigh first. Feel the lifting of the torso as you press down. Good. This is a beautiful position. You can stay here the whole time. Or you can start to add the arms. Maybe you go to cactus position first. Maybe you reach toward the sky. But the arms are reaching from the shoulder blades. So the top part doesn't have to come up around the ears. Drop the shoulder blades down, reach through the fingertips. Straighten the arms, lift up. Good. And then from here, hands will come to Namaskar. You're going to twist from the waist. So leaning forward just a little bit can help. This elbow is going to come just to the thigh or to the outside of the thigh. And then the palms are going to press together. And we try to, or we aim to, get this position to be in the center of our chest. Good. You can move the tailbone forward a little bit if you want a deeper stretch. Excellent. And then releasing the twist, the hands will come down to the blocks or to the floor. Tuck your back toes, straighten that back leg, and then we're going to spring forward from there into that forward fold again. Feel the breath flowing like an ocean wave in the body. And then you can bend your knees if you need to. Hands can come to thighs. You're coming all the way back up to your standing mountain pose. Take a breath here. Good. All right. So from here, we're going to take our yoga blocks if needed, placing them one on either side of the back edge of the long back edge of our mat. All right. And then we're going to take a nice wide stance here. So we're going to move in and out of our warrior two. We're going to take our arms and stretch them out to the ends of the universe. Okay. And feel the energy zipping up the inside of the legs. And you're going to send your back left heel back a little bit and spin your right leg open. But we don't do this, right? We keep the alignment toward the long edge of our mat. And then just start to bend and straighten this front leg a few times. Bending and straightening, kind of using your computer as a mirror or using your eyes to make sure that front knee isn't going past the front ankle. Pause in your warrior two here and gaze out over the middle finger. Feel the back heel moving toward the front heel isometrically. So there's this feeling that the legs are pulling together a little bit. Take a nice breath here. And then go ahead and turn your front palm up. Drop your back hand down and let's lift up toward the sky. Reverse warrior. Good. Inhaling and exhaling. You can let this back hand slide down a little bit. Feel all that support of those strong legs, creating ease in the upper body, and then come back to your warrior two. Good. Go ahead and straighten that front knee once again. We're going to reach forward a little bit and then tilt the body into Trikonasana. So I love to use the block right behind my ankle so I can concentrate on really rotating my rib cage toward the sky and finding that beautiful alignment. Shoulder blades come together and down. And then if you like, you can bring that shoulder alongside your ear. And once again, extending the posture, Utthita Trikonasana. Breathe, feel that extension That's getting rid of all the tension from driving, from feeling your feelings. You know, your body can hold tension within the muscles. So moving and breathing is an excellent way to change the way we feel, even on the emotional level, the emotional sheath. Go ahead and bend that front knee a little bit and see if you can come back to that warrior two posture for just a breath. Good. And then hands will come to the hips as you rotate the legs forward. And then let's just try to heel toe the feet together for a moment and just give it a little shake and get a little Tai Chi swing. So the hands are in soft fists and we're just turning from the waist. Knees are slightly bent. All right, good. Now we're going to go back to our wide stance. We're going to spread the toes so they feel very, very firmly connected to the mat. Go ahead and reach your arms out. Turn that back heel toward the front of the mat a little bit. Spin the front leg open, which is now the left leg, and you're just going to bend and straighten a few times. And you can use your eyes to make sure that knee is lining up properly over the ankle. All right, good job. We're going to hold this one now, coming down into Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 2. I have a hip replacement here, so I like to turn that back heel back a little bit more so I don't create too much extension and external rotation in that hip, which were contraindications for me. But as you can see, I can still do Warrior Two. You just make the adjustments. You have to. What's the option? Not practicing? No, that's not it. We want to keep doing our yoga till we're in our hundreds, right? So we have to make these adjustments. And we're going to reverse it now. Drop the back hand down. Go ahead and lift it up. Relax the shoulders. Feel that grace and ease in the upper body. Sthira and Sukha, right? Strength and ease. You got it. Let's come back to our Warrior Two. We're going to pull the quadricep up to straighten the leg. We're going to reach the left arm out and we're going to move into Trikonasana. I've got my trusty block. I'm going to turn my top palm forward. I'm going to roll my shoulders back and down. Breathe. Inner edge of the front foot is rolling toward the mat. Big toes are connected. And then I'm going to turn my top shoulder toward my head so I can reach my arm alongside my ear. Yeah, we've been doing this same arm variation all class. We're going to feel the front heel moving toward the back heel. And I like to feel my tailbone lengthening toward that back heel. Good. One more breath here. Excellent. And then you're going to inhale, bringing yourself all the way back up, finding that Warrior Two position. And then go ahead and straighten. Hands come to hips, rotate the left toes forward, and then heel toe, and bring them together. All right, so for this next posture, you're going to either need a couple of blocks could be used. I'm going to use a bolster myself. Okay, or you could use a chair, and I will demonstrate that as well. So to demonstrate with the chair, I'm just going to make sure it's on my mat. And I'm going to put the bolster, or you could put a blanket on top of it. We're going to take a wide-legged stance here. All right, so your feet are going to be wide. If you are facing the camera, that's totally fine. I just want you to be able to see this action from the side. So I start kind of in a tabletop, and then I'm going to come down onto my forearms and bring my palms together. Keep your elbows wide. And you kind of have to maneuver the feet until you can feel that you're back long enough or far enough so your spine is in extension and your hips are in line with your ankles. And then go ahead and drop your forehead onto the bolster or blocks. Okay. So as I was saying, those of you who are just using bolsters or blocks because your hamstrings are allowing it, you will come down just to either this position, hands can reach toward the feet or on the floor, or maybe you're all the way down with your head resting on the bolster or blocks, but your head is resting on something, okay? So a little gentle pressure there. And again, this is a very active and vigorous pose for the legs, but the head is relaxing. The blood is going to the brain. And I want you to really take a nice conscious inhale and exhale here in whichever one of the options we've discussed. You're in inversion time here. And this is so important for the health of our body, for our nervous system, for our organics. Finding the time for inversions help to clear our minds, help to clear overthinking patterns, circular patterns of thought, and can help to alleviate depression. Continue to breathe, continue to be active in the legs for 4 or 5 more breaths here. Excellent. And then we are all going to, whether you're at the chair or just hands on the bolster blocks, you're going to come up to straight arm variation again. And we're just going to shift side to side into a sideways lunge here. Okay, just exploring the range of motion in your hip joint. Right, and then coming back to the center, go ahead and heel toe the feet closer together. Bend your knees quite a bit, bring your hands to your thighs and slowly lifting to come up. Good, all right, beautiful. So we're gonna come down now onto the mat, but before you do, please find a yoga blanket. So if you have one of the type like this, these are very easy to fold. If you have something a little softer, the fold might be a little more challenging, but what we want to do is roll this up. So I roll from the fringe end, and you're going to roll it as tightly as you can. So we're creating kind of this beautiful jelly roll with our blanket. So if you don't have a blanket, maybe go find one real quick. Just pause the video. And you're going to place this about 2/3 of the way up your mat. Then I'm going to turn. I like to go down on my side first. So for those of you who have had any sort of surgeries in your upper body, you're going to lie down on what you would consider to be your weaker side, so you can use your strong arm to help you roll over. And I'm aiming to have this just below my chest to start. I may have to finagle it or move it more. Okay, so for me, this feels intense in an interesting way. So one thing I'm going to do for myself today is I'm going to roll back to my side and come out of this. And I show you this because it's very important. Always keep a small pillow or another folded blanket in your practice space. So I'm going to place a little pillow, a little thin pillow here. You could also use another folded blanket, and I'm going to re-enter the pose because this is going to feel better for my neck. Oh yeah, that makes a big difference. So I still feel this opening in the upper body, but my head feels supported. I always like to start with my knees bent, and I kind of wiggle around until I feel the opening of the thoracic spine. That's the upper back, all right? Head and neck are supported. Arms are going to go out to the side here. And then you can also change to different variations. Maybe you want to cross your legs in Sukhasana. This is nice for opening up the belly and the pelvis. You could also stretch the legs out, play with any variations, and then just allow yourself to sink into the floor. All right, we've worked our bodies just enough, so this should feel very good. And this counteracts the rounding that we do in that upper back. that curvature of the spine. All right, that is a natural progression of the society we live in. So in this, we open and stretch the area of the body that is used to rounding. So it may feel a little intense, but I invite you to stay with it for a few more breaths to see if it softens and yields a little bit. The heart is shining open, right? This is a beautiful opening for the heart chakra area of the body, anahata. The word anahata means unstruck. And this area of the body is thought to have just an untapped well of compassion, kindness. So allow that to flow forth. And breathe into the expansion of your rib cage, the expansion of your lungs. Notice how as you lengthen your exhale and your body starts to accept the resistance of the bolster, it feels more natural to drop your shoulder blades down toward the earth. Good job. And now we're gently, if your legs were straight, you're going to bend one knee and then the other. At this point, you could probably remove the prop under your head because you're going to move your head and shoulders back as you lift your pelvis and slide your bolster under your hips. So now we are in a very small Setu Bandha, the bridge pose. And we're going to take a couple of breaths here to just allow that thoracic spine that we just extended to naturally relax on the mat. Let your arms come down alongside your hips here. Take a couple of breaths. Good. And then go ahead, don't turn your head side to side, just listen to my words. You're going to grab under your right knee, lifting your right foot off the floor and pull that towards you. So right thigh is getting pulled toward the chest. If you can straighten your left leg, you're going to do that now. And that's going to sort of flatten out the front of your left hip crease. Good. So just holding this flexion with the right hip and extension with the left hip. Good. And then from there, remember, keep looking at the ceiling, bend your left knee again, cross your right ankle over your left thigh and press that right knee away from you. And you can hold there, or you can lift the left foot off the floor, holding on underneath the left knee and pulling that whole position closer to you. You're getting a little bit of lift from that blanket, so it might feel deeper than it normally does when you practice this supine pigeon pose. Feel very heavy as into your seat. Feel heaviness in the glutes, just pressing down can increase the stretch. Go ahead and place the left foot on the floor, place the right foot on the floor again, and come back to your Setu Bandha, your bridge pose. Relax the head and shoulders. Go ahead and pull the left thigh toward the chest. I'm interlacing my fingers under the cables of the left knee, and then I'm going to stretch the right leg. Oh, that feels good. So that if your hips are at all stiff from sitting or driving, this gentle opening is just the ticket here. And we've already stretched our hamstrings quite a bit. So I'm going to just do this flexion and extension here. And then we're going to go ahead and bend that right knee again, crossing the left ankle, and just let the left knee push away from us. You can keep the right foot on the floor, or you can lift the right foot off the floor and hold on under the right thigh. Breathe in and out here. Beautiful. And then go ahead and relax the right foot to the floor. Relax the left foot to the floor. Make sure you're supported. Make sure that bolster is right where it needs to be under your hips. Remember, we're still looking at the ceiling. Head never turns side to side. You're going to lift both feet off the floor. Stretch your legs toward the sky. Our Dandasana staff pose. If it feels good, go ahead and tuck your shoulder blades a little bit closer together and turn your palms down. Keep reaching through the heels. This is going to cause you to engage your lower abdominal muscles. So we talked about that scooping motion, feeling from the pubic bone to the navel. This is core work. If you want a little bit more core work, you know who you are. You can drop the heels a little bit away from you. But for most of us, it's plenty just to keep the heels reaching toward the sky for a few more breaths. Try to relax any tension in the face, in the jaw, the rim of the tongue, the root of the tongue, the esophagus. Okay, sometimes when we're doing abdominal work, we tense up in a different area in the body, not needed. Keep those legs nice and strong. Beautiful. And then go ahead and bend your knees and just pull the knees towards you one more time. And if you like, you could open the knees wide and grab the feet. I like to bring the soles of my feet together for this last stretch, and I start to reach my toes toward my head. I'm just rocking side to side a little bit here. The legs straighten a little bit as if the feet were going to go behind your head. Take a nice full inhale and exhale. Let everything go. Ha. And then go ahead and release that posture. You're going to lift your hips up so you can remove this bolster. And I'm going to use it today to cover my body as I move into Shavasana. Those of you who have the little pillow or extra folded blanket, you're going to slide that right under your head. And then we have to finagle that blanket so it's covering our whole body. And this is important to the Shavasana because we want to be warm enough. The body has a hard time relaxing if it's chilly, right? So take the time you need to cover yourself, to feel supported under your neck and shoulders. Maybe even covering the eyes. And I will leave you here. For about 3 minutes or so. When it's time to come out, you'll hear the sound of my voice. Now, slowly, slowly, without disturbing the posture, start to take a fuller inhale and exhale. And then ever so gently start to move the fingers and the toes, just bringing a little bit of life back into the body. You could circle your wrists and circle your ankles. Maybe turn the head side to side. And then when you're ready, take a nice stretch through the arms and the legs, inhaling fully and exhaling out the mouth. Feel free to take as long as you need to bend your knees and roll to one side. Feeling in your Shavasana. When you're ready, leave your legs heavy and press down with your arms to come back up to a comfortable seat. And then just gently closing the eyes, we'll bring our hands to Namaskar. And we'll close our practice by chanting the sound of Om together. Relax and fill the lungs. Oh. And then honoring the silence, the fourth syllable of the Om. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope that you are continued health and well-being as we enter the new year. Wish you peace and luminous health. Om Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you. See you next time. Have a great day.